y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the. You ain't built for a skirt as a nigga can be. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming for ya. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I come for ya. It's gonna sound like here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that.
What's going on, everybody? Happy week 17. Welcome to the Gridiron Gang right here on the Betting News Network. Excited to have you with us to finish off your weekend. A huge Sunday in front of us as we have week 17 of the NFL season. Got rocking and rolling yesterday with a couple games on the Saturday slate. But, boys, just before we jump into talking about the beautiful week 17 slate we have in front of us, today is our last Gridiron Gang of 2025. The next one we will have will be in 2026. So I'll see you guys next year. Which will be dope. But we've had an awesome season with you guys talking the NFL. Thanks for stopping by right here on the network. Oh yeah, the boys are back. Let's go. That's Vsauce. That is Jess Sook, and that is Trizzy Betts. My name is Sweatpants Jesus. Hope you guys had a fantastic holiday. I haven't seen Triz since Christmas. Did you have a good Christmas, bud?
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. It was a great day. Drank a lot of Hennessy.
That's makes
Anybody give you Hennessy for Christmas?
No, my mom bought me that sweet honey Hennessy Grinch shirt, and then when I got there, she had this. She bought the VSOP for me. So like, I guess you could say it, but I did ask her to like get it and like paid for it the other day, but I had forgot, so I bought my own. I ended up with 2 bottles of VSOP on Christmas, and I don't think both of them made it.
Can I just derail us for 30 seconds? Are you boys fans of White Elephant?
What is White Elephant? I don't know what that is.
A Mean Christmas.
Is it a Christmas game where you can steal a gift? You guys
so you show up to a party and you bring a gift that has a predetermined price limit, and then everyone slowly opens the gifts, and you have maybe 1 or 2 steals, and you go around the circle and you open the gifts, and then you can also steal the gifts, and then also grown adults absolutely crash out. If you guys haven't played White Elephant, I
I've done like Secret Santa, like Dirty Santa and stuff like that, but I've never done this White Elephant thing. Sounds kind of fun. If you get that invested,
when we finally have that like BN Christmas where we're all together, you know what I mean, in the office.
When we have our office,
we'll fight over a bottle of Hennessy probably.
I mean, if that's on the table, then yeah, we might be fighting. We'll see. No, I've never heard of that. Why is it called White Elephant? Like that makes
I don't know the name, but I hope my sister's not watching. But I watched a grown adult. Sorry, Simran, if you're watching. I watched a grown adult with 2 children crash out over a Lululemon toque.
Yeah, somebody said stuck back to bed.
I was about to say you could have just said no names associated and someone you knew, but you had to like directly put her on blast and then say sorry, I'm putting you on blast.
He said my sister.
What you should be happy.
Name.
That's like the opposite of what you just did, but it's okay, whatever. We love to see it. Appreciate you guys stopping by to finish off your Sunday. Everybody, what's up, Slander? What's up, Austin? What's up, Sean Beasy? What's up, Maddie? How we doing? Yeah, we can start with this. We can talk a little bit about what we saw yesterday, and then we'll jump into today. Obviously, little precursor. This is a reminder to set your fantasy lineups. If you're in the fantasy championship, which if you're playing fantasy this weekend, you're probably in the championship, then you've already probably set your lineup. A couple games have gone by. Jeff knows the vibes. But yesterday was fun. Chargers shit the bed once again against the Texans. Just cannot beat that team for some reason. I felt kind of bad for Justin Herbert yesterday watching that game, guys. Like, he just cannot, like, Dicker the kicker was terrible yesterday. Didn't help him out at all. Justin Herbert just had no help yesterday, and I felt bad for him. He's had that happen a lot in his career, I feel like. I mean, he goes home to Madison Beer, so you can't be too sorry for him, but, like I felt bad. His team let him down yesterday heavily across the board. Texans were good, but I thought that Herbert got really let down yesterday. What do you guys think about that game?
Do we let Vsauce go first?
Man, yeah. Just stick to the Chargers game first, and I'll crash out in about 2 minutes when we get to the Packers game. But in terms of that Chargers game, when Dicker the kicker missed that extra point and they went down 4 instead of 3, it just killed all momentum that they had built. The obvious thing is that offensive line sucks. You went up against the best defensive line in football. He had a very hard time. He was sacked on the 3rd play of the game, his first drop back. You know what I mean? It hasn't been an easy season for Justin Herbert, and a lot of it's just because he can't stay upright, man. So that sucks. But
speaking of upright, Vsauce in the middle of an entire room that did not know
any had a bad game.
He literally screamed out "Dicker the kicker" in the middle of the night.
Hey, that's his name.
It is. They said it on the broadcast too. This was also, I mean, that drop or that like tip in the red zone and then the interception on the pass that was just like should have caught it at the 2-yard line. That changed the whole momentum of the game too. So Gadsden wasn't very good. Again, I just felt like everybody was letting Herbert down left, right, and center. So
is Malik Willis better than Jordan Love?
So you're just going to skip straight to it, huh? You just don't want to talk about the Chargers game anymore? Looks in rare form this morning.
Yeah, he is. And somebody get him like a blood alcohol test or something.
Hey, man, don't worry.
Yeah.
The Bucs played today. The Karma might come calling quicker than he thinks.
True.
Ooh.
Right?
It is true. It's true.
Any thoughts on that Chargers game, Triz?
I took the Texans yesterday. I just, as you mentioned, I just feel like they kind of have Herbert's number a little bit, but I agree. He was not getting any help yesterday. He's still playing great with no help. He can't stay upright at all. Joe Alt hasn't played in a hot minute. I think he's only played 6 games this season, and you can kind of tell, honestly. He's kind of scrambling a little bit too much, but at the same time, that's kind of when he's most dynamic in certain aspects. I feel like that's kind of when he shines best, when he's outside of the pocket, but he still needs to have a clean pocket to get set, to be able to roll out in certain aspects. And somebody in chat mentioned that Gadsden drop was huge. That was so big. And he's been so clutch for them all year. So it's like, he's still young. I'm pretty sure he is a rookie. So it's like, kind of tough. I want to see them build a real team around Herbert. I want to see the Chargers go all in, go out this offseason, sign a few big names for the offensive line, and probably some receiver help a little. I think they could probably use some receiver help. And I want to see what happens really when Herbert's kind of at his full strength and matched up with all of these other quarterbacks that he is matched up statistically, but doesn't have the skill set around him like these guys do. Maybe Josh Allen being the outlier there, but yeah, man, I don't know.
I agree 100%. I mean, they did get Slater, which he went down before the season even started at right tackle, which kind of derailed their momentum going into the season. As you mentioned, Alt missed a lot of time throughout the whole season as well, which didn't help the offensive line. True. But like a lot of people feel some type of way about Justin Herbert, but I've always I think he's a good quarterback, man. And I think you're right. He just needs a little more time with Harbaugh at the helm and a little more help and a little health, as a lot of players do. And then you can see what you got there.
They still are super sad last night.
He was a sad boy. Well, again, this was the first game watching this entire season, and a lot of Chargers games, because they've been on primetime, a lot of like, he got let down last night. Like the kicking game was bad. That drop was bad. A couple of other plays, there's just guys just weren't making plays, and he was out there doing his damnedest, and it just didn't lead to anything. Yeah, I mean, how can you not be in this situation? He was disappointed, and I mean, even as a non-Chargers fan, I was kind of disappointed too watching that game. Yeah, Sook did wake up and choose violence today. Absolutely, 100%. All right, now you can get to it, Mr. Violent Man. You're also muted. So Packers last night, Malik Willis and company did not get the job done. However, I thought Malik Willis was really good for Green Bay last night. A game that, like, yes, they needed to win, but like already clinched the playoffs. Would have been nice to compete with the Bears to win the division, but playoffs are still going to be in Green Bay's future, which Sauceman will probably talk about in a second. But they got run over by the King last night. There was straight up just a Derrick Henry vintage 200-yard performance game, record-setting night for Derrick Henry. And it also just proves that Todd Monken's an idiot. I don't know what in the hell he was doing over the last like month, and just not. You can't feed Derrick Henry 35 carries every single game, but like he needs to have 20 touches every single game at this point for this Baltimore team. And we saw last night what that looks like. So, VL, let you lead us off. I know your team lost last night. You're still going to make the playoffs, so that's fine. What are your kind of overall takeaways?
Biggest concern for me was that run defense. Right, no Micah Parsons. We saw a lot of guys go down yesterday. I think 2 guys were carted off. Really wasn't a good day in terms of just injuries, and guys are falling off the wagon in terms of health. But we've made the playoffs, right? We've got 2 weeks to get the fuck together to hopefully maybe go into the playoffs with a win next week. But the defense yesterday was really bad. Derrick Henry ran all over them, whether it was a loaded box, whether it was whatever it was. And it was always on like 3rd and 9. Next thing you know, first down, and big play, 4 touchdowns. And congratulations if you had him in your fantasy football final.
For real, dude.
Another 46. That's 46 from Kyle Pitts. And you got 46 from Puka Nacua, who I was on the short end of that stick, SPJ. Congrats. And now we've got Derrick Henry starting off the week with another 40-point banger, boys. That's just absolutely insane.
It's actually crazy because I am in the championship of y'all's league with another guy, and neither one of us have Derrick Henry. I literally like sprinted to my phone watching this happen because I obviously don't have him because Gerald drafted him before I could, asshole. But I wanted to grab him, and I was like, oh my God, does the person I'm going up against have him? And he didn't, thank God. He has Bijan and Christian McCaffrey and a bunch of other dudes, so I got to worry about that today. But yeah, it was incredible, especially as a Derrick Henry fan. I know you were probably in shambles a little bit about it, but like, again, I wish I had my jersey with me in Florida because I would have totally done it and just worn it all day today with how awesome he was last night. If anybody had a doubt that Derrick Henry was going to be a Hall of Fame running back, last night put that doubt to bed. I mean, I didn't doubt it whatsoever, but there were still some naysayers out there, and I think last night cemented that as well. They also stay statistically alive in the playoffs. They need the Browns to win today against the Steelers. We'll see if that comes to fruition for them to stay alive. But anything else? I mean, you want to talk, Triz, what did you think about the game last night, man? I'm going to save you for last, so you can kind of shit on V the last if you want. He's got nothing to say.
I mean, I low key, like, I was watching that game yesterday and I kept thinking to myself, like, is Malik a starting quarterback in the NFL? Is he really? I don't want to get into is he better than Love, but is he a starting quarterback in general?
Absolutely.
Like,
I think so.
V definitely has thoughts on this, so go Triz.
What happens if you stick him on the Steelers? I feel like they're probably significantly better. What happens if you stick them on the Dolphins? They're probably a lot better. What happens if you stick them on the Saints? Probably a lot better. I don't know. This Jets team would do crazy things on offense with Malik at the helm. So I don't know, man. I don't know how long you guys have that dude. I mean, he's been balling. So if he's gone, if he's out of the Packers facility at the end of this season, I find that hard to believe. How does one of these teams not go out there and pay him? He's still young.
They will.
He's still a young quarterback. I don't know. Kind of in a remember how Brissett got signed to be a starter at one point? I think he signed to be the Pats starter. He was right before May. He was supposed to start. I feel like they could do something like that, and a team would just instantly kind of fall into a pretty good situation there. Maybe a team like the Jets should really go out and do it. But I feel like they just tried with Fields, so it's going to make it a little different, I guess. But I don't know.
Malik Willis is better.
Yeah.
Malik Willis is better than Justin Fields as a quarterback in the NFL. Justin Fields obviously is an incredible runner, but Willis can also run. But, I mean, this guy is finally getting a chance. He didn't develop in Tennessee. He got drafted by the Titans, but then, didn't get a chance to really develop. Matt LaFleur has done a great job with his development in Green Bay obviously with Love, but also just in that quarterback room, developing you can just tell he's become a more steady quarterback with his footwork, because when the Titans had him, he just was not developed. He was raw, and the talent's there, as you've seen, but he's come into some big situations, not only just the talent we saw last night you're talking about, Triz, but just the situations he's come into, maybe not having as many first team reps, going into big time situations in games and having to make really big plays. And he's done it. I mean, that's what you want. Like you said, out of a quarterback, you can have all the intangibles. Yeah, you can do all the footwork, and your mechanics can be blah, blah, blah. But you got to just go in there and make plays sometimes. And he's done that for the Packers. He was not the reason they lost that game last night.
No, the defense was.
Yeah. Like you said, the run defense was not good enough.
No.
Calls, I'm pretty sure that you're not trolling me on this comment. But I just want to bring it up so you know for sure. Oh, yeah, I 100% know that Derrick Henry was a Tennessee Titan for many years, and he was incredible for the Tennessee Titans. 2,000-yard rushing season, was a Hall of Famer for the Titans. So go back and watch some of his highlights in Titan Blue. It's also sad to me that we've gotten to the point now where people have forgotten that Derrick Henry was a Titan.
I saw this tweet that said there's a world where Derrick Henry, Malik Willis, and A.J. Brown are all still Titans, and
I just look
at
at
you guys trying to fuck this guy's morning up with
you guys want to know what's funny? So I'll include Vrabel in that tweet as well.
Oh yeah, Vrabel.
They also spelled Mike Vrabel wrong. Adam sent me that tweet immediately after that tweet went out. He sent it to me in 10 seconds after that happened, and I literally responded. I said, "I hope the Patriots lose in the first half." That was my response.
I just looked it up, though. Willis is on the final year of his rookie contract, so he's a free agent this summer. And that's a very enticing option for a lot of these bad teams, especially a team like the Dolphins. Even Arizona. You're right, dude. Even Arizona, bro. That's a great situation. Raiders, again, that's another team that just kind of tried to do it, so I don't know if they'd do it again. They might go out and draft a guy. They tried to bring Geno in for a little bit less money, or actually, I think Geno makes
Atlanta
quarterback money. Atlanta, that's another good one.
Yeah,
there's a lot of teams that should be interested in him.
There will be. I think that is not a hot take at all. That when we get to week 1 next year, Malik Willis will be a starting quarterback for some team in the NFL.
I will say for Atlanta, though, they've already paid a guy and drafted a guy. They can't fuck up and sign a guy. There's no way that can be their reality.
Yes, that is true. That's why I think the Jets might draft a quarterback as well, just because they tried the Fields thing. So I don't know, try to take another backup, and I don't know. Their fan base already hates them, so I don't really think they could fuck up too much more.
We're not entertaining unserious arguments about Malik Willis and Jordan Love. We're just not doing that. We're not having unserious conversations.
Can I just say I am so happy that V is home, and I can feel his anger, his frustration, all of it in person. It's feeding my soul.
Chat doesn't need help to see that live on the show. You get to see it live in person. But at least, again, as V has said, they are still going to make the playoffs. So the Packers will still get in the dance. And at the end of the day, all you got to do is just get in the dance. All right, let's turn the page, boys. We got a lot of games to talk about today. We could probably spend the rest of the show gabbing about whatever's going to happen for a lot of teams in the offseason. We'll have plenty of time to do that when we don't have active games in front of us. And we've got some massive games.
Plus 390. That was nice. Fuck yeah.
Please tell me, did you tap the 2+ button? You probably didn't, but
I did.
I mean,
that
was a hell of a call.
You know what's funny? He told me to take the bet SPJ, but he told me to take Josh Giddey triple-double with it, so I didn't hit.
Oh.
Hey, did you make money on the bet, Suck?
Yeah, I cashed out.
Exactly. So then stop complaining, okay? Putting me on blast. He cashed out. That's why I lost, because he lost faith in the bet that we placed together while we were sitting there having drinks together. Imagine that doing to your boy. I asked him.
You put your boy on blast this morning that you're on a show with, and you put your sister on blast. You might have to go in timeout for a minute.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I look at him. I'm like, Giddy's almost there. He's right there. He's like,
I'm on a mean streak today, boys. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
If the Bucks lose, I may not see Sook for a week. All right, let's for real, man. All right, let's play Stutter Dud real quick. Let's fly through these real fast. Stutter Dud, first one, Jalen Hurts, number 3 ranked quarterback this week. Massive matchup for the Eagles and the Bills in the afternoon slate and getting rocking and rolling. Decent game for Hurts last week, 22 of 30 for 185 yards and 2 tutties. Nice day on the ground as well, 7 carries for 40. If you got him, you're starting him, so it's not even a question of that. But you guys think that he has a chance to have a good day today against this Bills defense? Triz, I'll let you lead us off, man.
Yes, sir. I actually think he scores a touchdown today. I took him to score a touchdown, plus 135.
Let's go.
So there's six fantasy points right off the rip. So I think he has a great game today. This Bills defense has been really, really struggling. I even if the Bills do come away with this game, I don't see how it's not high scoring, which then obviously Hurts can turn the ball over 3 times. But if they're putting up points, it's not really going to matter too much.
Hell yeah. Anybody got any additional thoughts on Jalen Hurts? Like I said, you're starting him if you got him. But I think he has a good game. We'll talk about this defense when we get there. Bills' defense is terrible stopping the run. Maybe they just have such a good game on the ground with Saquon that it doesn't matter what Hurts does. But as you mentioned, the touchdown looks enticing. Maybe he goes in our touchdown lay as well. Boys, anything to add before we move on from the quarterbacks?
Nope.
No, sir.
Sook's muted, so I guess not. Okay, let's go to...
I said I assumed the tush will be pushed.
There you go. That was a good
Maybe
thing,
it was a good thing he was muted. Yeah, maybe it was a good thing he was muted.
All right, let's move on. Running backs. Interesting one here. Number 4 ranked running back this week is the product of Boise State. Ashton Jeanty finally had his big game last week in kind of a weird spot that no one thought he was going to. 24 carries for 128 yards on the ground against that Texans defense and had that singular catch for 60 and another touchdown. Today, he gets an enticing matchup, and this is the toilet bowl game. This is the please someone win this game so they can not be the number 1 overall pick. It's going to be fun watching both of these teams try to lose this game in funny ways against the Giants today. However, the Giants have a terrible rushing defense. Jeanty had a great game last week. Sauceman, you're muted, but do you think that Jeanty can have a big game today? Are you starting him if you got him?
Man, I am. This Giants defense is horrendous. They're so bad. I know this offensive line is really, really bad, but they've been gashed on the ground again and again. Genty's been heavily utilized over the last few weeks, and it kind of feels like he's coming into his own a little bit. So, I think he's going to be a stud.
Hard to not think so. The matchup makes too much sense, but again, there's going to be some weird stuff that happens in this game. We'll get there when we talk about the game specifically, as both of these teams are fighting for the number 1 overall pick. We'll see how that plays out. Last one. Wide receiver, Chris Olave. He was our starter dud last week, and boy, oh boy, was he a stud. Maybe he can have back-to-back weeks of the same thing. Number 4 ranked wide receiver this week, as well as his hookup with Tyler Shuck is looking very Shuck-tastic at the moment, taking on the Tennessee Titans today. Interesting game. We'll talk about it when we get there between the Titans and the Saints, 2 of the better teams over the last month of the season, interestingly enough. 10 catches for 148 on the ground or through the air last week for 2 tutties. Sauceman, you were all over it last week with Olave. Do you think that he has a chance to have another big game today against the Titans?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. You know that the Titans secondary has been kind of pretty bad this year, and Olave's playing these games despite not playing for anything, but the Saints have won 3 games in a row. They going for 4. It's the first time since 2017 that that's happened. They've been really, really bad for the last few years, and I think that finally the vibes are high. I think that finally they're playing good, and I think they want to keep that rolling into next year. Kellen Moore's been fantastic, and I think a lot of it is because of how good Olave and Shuck's connection has been. So, yeah, starting stud.
I like his touchdown too. I took his yards. We'll talk about that when we get there. I agree with you on everything you said. I think he has a chance to have a big day once again today against that Titans secondary. All right, guys, that was Stud or Dud. Go set your fantasy lineups, chat. If you haven't already, this is your last reminder. Go set them. You probably already set them because there's been 3 games already. And if you're in the championship, you've probably been pining to figure out what to do since Monday, as I am in one league. So fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes across the board. Let's jump into it, guys. Anything else to add in before we jump into these games? Should we dive?
Wait, can I just respond to this?
Yes, go for it.
Tyler Warren lost me my fantasy chances last week, so I feel like I am inclined to tell you should probably start Taysom Hill.
Just purely off of to help you get.
Oh yeah. I had him against Eddie Pinheiro, and I was up 4 points, and I still lost. A kicker, tight end versus a kicker. Up 4 points and I still lost. It was pain.
Yikes.
That is just purely pain, dude. I'm really
And
sorry. Is this your big league?
Yes, that was my big league. And what made it worse? What made it even worse was they played great. Rivers balled out.
Just didn't hit
Don't
Warren.
know where Warren was. Like,
honestly, he might have won it for you too, Triz, if that interception doesn't happen there at the end, and if Phillip Rivers doesn't miss him on the touchdown on the opening fucking drive.
I
My
remember
God.
Dude, I remember we were talking about it that day too in our little group chat.
Take the max unders.
And V told me to take his unders, and I believe he went over his yards by like a yard. So I got cucked there too. It was a real rough night for me.
That is Dewey heard enough. He said, "I'll start Taysom in your honor." So there you go. Probably scoring a touchdown anyway, but woof, dude, that's rough, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. That's fantasy. It's fantasy in a nutshell, right?
That's how it goes.
It's championship weekend in a nutshell too. You know, we had a few guys do absolutely nothing and a few unexpected guys do. It's like that every year. You know, every year it's like the winner of fantasy is never starting somebody that should be starting at the end. You know what I mean? It's like take Malik Willis per chance, right? Who was starting Malik Willis yesterday, but he might be the top scoring quarterback this week in fantasy.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we've talked about Jacoby Brissett also quite a few times over the last couple of weeks. People have been starting him. If you would have said that to somebody starting in the regular season, they would have laughed in your face, man. That Jacoby Brissett would carry you to the fantasy championship. I beat V last week, and he had like Josh Allen have a terrible game. I can't remember who the other guy that was a stud that just shit the bed last week as well. It happens, you know.
Yeah, Judkins got hurt. Travion got hurt. Both of them left the game. So yeah, that was pain. I will say this: if you had the balls to start Malik Willis yesterday, you woke up pretty fucking happy. 30+ fantasy points. I mean, Jalen Hurts has done that once this year.
Could you imagine?
How many points for the win?
None. What? There are no points for the win, so.
That's the point.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about these games.
That's terrible.
He was trying to dunk on you, and he didn't even understand the dunking, but then it just passed because it was
terrible.
Man.
Terrible.
Chat.
Lock in, Suk.
All right, let's get to it. In honor of you, Suk, let's start with this game. Dolphins taking on the Buccaneers. Quinn Ewers, week 2, starting for the Miami Dolphins. Bucs got to win. Got to win. If the Bucs lose, they're out. They have to win this game, and then they have to hope that the Carolina Panthers lose this week as well. And then they have a showdown to possibly decide the NFC South next week against Carolina at home. But they got to get the job done this week first. Interesting game. Quinn Ewers obviously coming back in. The Dolphins have nothing to play for except just playing spoiler across the board. I don't know what to think about this game. It's hard to kind of feel like one of those situations where I don't want to fade the Bucs. I think they probably cover the 6. 6 feels like a lot of points. And this Bucs team has just been so fraudulent over the last month. So what do you guys feel about this game? Suk, as a fan, I'm sure I'll let you kind of start us off here before we jump into what we like in this game. But how you feeling? Probably nervous as hell, no?
Oh yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I am definitely nervous. Like the under has hit in 4 of the last 5 Bucks road games. This offense was supposed to be moving and grooving, and it absolutely has not been doing that. So I'm actually very scared for this game. I don't know if we actually slip into the playoffs at all. We've been dealing with moving our OC around for the last few years. It seems like everyone gets a year and moves on, but I do think that this Bucks team, the scary thing is, and I want to know what you guys think, is I think that the locker room has turned on the coaching staff. So I don't think, like, I actually didn't bet this game at all, exactly for that reason, because I have no idea what's going on. The one bet that I did have was the staff article play of Rashad White, his R&R over 28.5. I do think that is a little bit low, but besides that, I don't know if like I'm gonna run to bet anything in this Bucks game. Like, I need your guys' opinions. Like, what is going on with this team? You start 6-2, and now what's going on?
Driz, what are you thinking?
I think this line's a little sus, moving backwards as well. And I don't really know why. Quinn Ewers didn't really look like he was doing anything great last week. And I mean, this Bucks defense has been fried between injuries and just they're getting so many points scored on them. So I don't know. Maybe Quinn Ewers balls out today. I not exactly sure. Maybe they keep it close. It doesn't really seem like the Bucks have had much luck pulling away from any team they've played all year. So I find it hard to believe that the Dolphins don't kind of hang around in this game one way or another. But that is so true as well. But are they going to get BTA'd back-to-back weeks? I don't know. We've seen the worst teams hang around after getting BTA'd, you know?
The thing that worries me too with the Bucks is Tristan Wirfs is out once again. He won't be up there on the offensive line, and the defensive line hasn't really done anything to get pressure. If there's anything that you don't like, I mean, with the rookie QB, the one thing you don't want to see is pressure. It just makes everything harder to go through your reads, harder to read the defense. And this is a Bucks team that just hasn't been generating that despite blitzing at a top 10 rate, and they just haven't generated pressure. I think if that's the case, Quinn Ewers might have a little bit of too much time in the pocket. Like, he's still got some weapons in Darren Waller. Jalen Waddle's been good. Malik Washington's played better over the last couple of weeks. And then Devon Achane's just an absolute fucking monster.
But to go back to your point, V, with Wirfs out, Baker is a smaller size quarterback. That line is substantial, and he really does depend on Wirfs on that left side to take care of him. Whenever Wirfs is out, Baker definitely struggles.
There's the line has moved. As you can see, it was 6 earlier this week. It has, as Triz was talking about, it's down to 4.5 now for the Dolphins and the Bucks. So we're looking at a little bit of movement there with that getting closer to less away from the touchdown and closer to the field goal. I took a prop earlier this week. I got a little bit of a higher line, but I'll just give you guys what the line is now. I took Greg Dulcich for 16.5 receiving yards, -110. You can get 15 plus at -125 if you don't want to pay the juice. He's hit this in every game he's played for the Dolphins this year, and he's gone well over it, like soared. 41, 46, and 46 in 3 straight games with being the second tight end too in this Dolphins offense. Quinn Ewers hit him last week for a couple catches for 46 yards. The Bucks struggled in the pass department, as you guys talked about. They also struggle with tight ends. So I think that this is just line's too low. I know Waller's been getting attention, and Waller is probably in a good spot once again here. But I like my mulleted hair amigo to get the job done and get 17 yards through the air. So any props in this game? Sook, I know your staff article play is in this one as well. You want to talk about that? So is V's. You guys both. Yeah, V, you sent me yours, and I was like, this guy burned the shit out of me last week. He's going to go off this week, man. But let Sook go first, and I'll let you take us home.
I actually took 2 guys that burned you last week, but we'll get there. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, I'll go first because V's dive on his guy is way deeper than mine. I just took the line because I thought it was a little bit too low. I do think that Grizzard has to figure out what's going on with this offense. So I took Rashad White over 20.5 rushing and receiving. I know Bucky is the feature back there, but they do like to see what they have with Rashad as well. So I just took it because I felt like the line was very, very comfortable, but I'm very excited to also hear what V has to say about my other boy.
Yeah, man. Mike Evans. Mike Evans is that guy. And we've seen it over like the last couple of weeks. He's come back. He's had 21 targets in 2 weeks, despite not playing a full snap share in that first game. And honestly, maybe not a full one either in that last one. The guy's just been fantastic. Once he's on the field, Baker is going to hit. The Dolphins are also 27th in pressure rate this year. And I think that, yes, even with Wirfs out, the Dolphins just haven't done a good job to get to opposing quarterbacks. If you give a guy like Baker time, he's going to go to his favorite target, and that's Mike. The other thing that I really saw with this one is that Miami's running a ton of too high defensive sets, and that's something Mike's just torched all year. He is 12th in the NFL in yards per route run and second in targets per route run against two-man high. And the targets per route run, we know, is because how much Baker favors him, right? And it's a defensive matchup that he should thrive against. I also just think that his size against a smaller cornerback crew in Miami is going to be something that he's able to use to his advantage. I like his yards, and I also like him to score again this week.
I like this a lot. I was going to bet it again too because he burned me last week. But I didn't. So you can just he'll cash for you. He's going to have a massive day for sure.
You might have to bet him. Maybe he's in the prop play. We'll see. You know what I mean? You might have to.
All right now. Okay. Just to also remind you guys, our staff article is out. It came out yesterday. We actually fully did the math last night. Or shout out Shaq. Shags did the math. I was going to wait until the end of the regular season to do the math, but Shags did the math yesterday. We are up almost 40 units on the staff article. If you tailed every single play from the staff article from week 1 to now, we have not had a losing week, and you'd be up almost 40 units. So that's how the staff article has been cooking. 120 wins, 72 losses, I think, is what we're looking at. Almost 38 units green. So let's try to do it again this week. Obviously,
I apologize. It'd be 45 units if I got my act together.
Hey, there are a couple on the squad that are one game under 500 at this point. But hey, man, it's okay.
Nobody's too far like under 500 either. I will say that. You know what I mean? Like,
so Kincaid are 7 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
So like
you guys
it's not
still
like
have
it's
a chance to go positive or even.
Yep. Absolutely. Triz is still top of the king of the castle right now. Via Adam and I are right behind you guys. The article is at bettingnews.com. It is our pinned tweet as well on Twitter. You guys can go read that. Bettingnews.com. One of the first articles on the top. Go to the NFL section. It's free. It's 12. I'm sure one of these guys is dropping the link in the chat. Slick's been bitching about the NFL over the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. So there's the article. If you want to go check it out. We're going to talk about a lot of the plays here on the show. So maybe pull it up on a separate tab. But that's where the article is if you want to go give it a gander. Goes out every Saturday in the NFL season. It should be fun for the playoffs too. We'll see how that goes as well. But okay, guys, let's jump to the next game on the docket. Nothing else for this Tampa Bay game, right?
No.
We're good?
Yep.
Okay. Should be an interesting one, and hopefully Sook doesn't have to crash out later if the Bucks got to win, right? Right? You'd think, right? Cardinals, another game that doesn't matter. However, it should be fun. Bengals, Cardinals 7.5-point dogs here against Joe Burrow and company. Huge total, 53.5-point total. It's actually dropped to a 7 flat on the spread as well. Triz, this line feels like something that you might want to talk about here, either the total or the spread. So take it away. What are you kind of thinking in this meaningless game from a standings perspective? But there's a lot of guys that could probably get after it on the field with 2 bad defenses. What are you feeling?
Yeah, I took the over. Probably one of the squarest plays on the board today. I know it's a heavily bet total, but I just don't see how it doesn't hit. I really don't. This Bengals defense is so bad. The Cardinals defense is so bad. We've seen last week, Burrow, Chase Brown, they all balled out, even though they're not playing for anything. At this point, they're just kind of playing for chemistry, trying to keep things together a little bit, head into next season on a good note. And I think they continue to roll here. I don't really see how this Cardinals defense is going to put up much of a fight. And on top of it, you have Jamar Chase coming out and saying he wants to get into the end zone. They're going to try to get him into the end zone. He hasn't scored since week 7. So
just 3 Trez. Insane, right?
Yeah, I took him 2+ today. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores 3 after seeing what Henry did yesterday. So I think he's going to have a really big game. I think there's just a bunch of points scored here. Michael Wilson's been doing great for the Cardinals. They have their rushing attack back a little bit. So yeah, I just it's probably back and forth. Maybe the total hits because the Cardinals keep this within 7. I think that might be possible. I really do think they're going to trade touchdown for touchdown almost all game. I don't see how this game goes under. It's a square play, but it's one of those square plays where if it makes that much sense, how do you not take it? So I'm riding it.
I'm with you, man.
Just to talk about the other guy that burned SPJ and another play that if it makes sense, I'm going to take it. Trey McBride over 7.5 receptions. He is 9 receptions shy of the single season tight end record in receptions, mark set by Zach Ertz, I believe, in 2017. I think he's going to get there, right? This Cardinals team is playing with basically just incentive on the line. That's now it. Not cash incentive, but things like this, big moments. And I think Trey McBride is in line for that. And I think what's even more crazy to me is what would this season have looked like if Jacoby was starting from week 1 and this and these guys were allowed to play and thrive. And I think they're going to make the most of the last 2 weeks. I think McBride's had one of the best tight end seasons we've seen in recent memory. And I think the guys just, he's a machine. He's so fucking good when he's out there. This is also a Bengals team that is dead last in yards allowed to tight ends, receptions allowed to tight ends. We've seen them get burned again and again. This is the team that gave up 3 touchdowns to 3 different tight ends when they played Pittsburgh. I mean, come on. It just feels like it has to be Trey McBride. So if it's going to make sense, Trizzy, like you said, I am going to take it. So
I'm with you, dude. This is my staff article play. I got a great number on this. I took him at 71.5 earlier this week. It's up to over 80 plus. I think he has 100. Like you said, you covered all the different points of this. This is one of my favorite plays this week. I love Trey McBride here. 32nd in the NFL to receiving yards allowed to the tight end position. Would not be surprised if we look up and Trey McBride had a touchdown and 100 yards, maybe 2 touchdowns, something like that. So yeah, I'm with you. Went straight back to him after he burned me last week. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Any other thoughts on this? I think the over might have to go into our sides and totals lay, purely off the fact that I think a lot of us need a lot of things in this game anyway, so we'd like for it to go over. That'd be dope. So we can circle back to that. Anything else you want to add on this kind of meaningless game except for just fun points perspective?
I was saying this to Sook yesterday, and I know that Chase said he wants to get in the end zone, and they're probably going to do whatever they can. But the Bengals are in a very in a situation, you have 2 elite wide receivers, right? They're both really good. They're both really good when you get down to the red zone. And Joe Burrow is equally as good at getting both of them the ball. When you get down there and closer to the red zone is when I get worried. Jamar's likely to break off a big play at any time in the game. But it's just like the defense starts, shifting a little bit more attention to Jamar as you get there. And T is really just – Sook said this yesterday. Why, vultures are called vultures for a reason. Sometimes the defense just opens up to these guys and they're able to get in the end zone more than people would like. So,
I was way smarter last night than I was this morning.
Nicer too.
That's also true. Ooh, some love for Gesicki as well. 2 touchdowns for. I mean, the whole thing with Chase at this point, it's gotten so public as well. I've seen a lot of people tweeting about it. Trizzy makes a lot of sense. It's one of those plays you just tail it, and if it hits, it hits great. If it doesn't, you just kind of chalk it up and move on. All right, let's move.
This past week's been very sharp in the NFL. If you look at Christmas Day, they must have made a killing Christmas Day. All 3 dogs covered, I think.
Yep,
2 of 3 unders. They nobody's betting unders, especially on Christmas when you're all around family and nobody's going to bet the under. So they scooped that up in 2 games and all 3 dogs covered. And I'll tell you what, I don't know who was betting the Chiefs. Who was betting the Chiefs on Christmas?
Yeah.
And Lions money line had to be one of the biggest fucking parlay breakers that we've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, man.
And just it was funny. I talked with Adam and Danny about this on Any Given Wager because Danny's still in Survivor. He made it through because he took the Eagles to next week. So shout out Danny. But he also said that in the Survivor League that Adam was talking about, I think the Circus Survivor League, 4 of those guys had to take the Vikings. They had to on Christmas, on the holiday games, because it was one of those leagues you have to take games on the holiday games and you have to do the weekend games. And some of them had to take the Vikings because they had no other choice. and the Vikings won outright, which was crazy. So interesting stuff there. We can move on to this game. I don't know how much we're going to spend on this game, so I don't know. We can kind of keep it short and sweet, maybe, but we'll see. Maybe you guys got more to say than I do. Patriots taking on the Jets. Jets got nothing to play for. Patriots obviously have a lot to play for, with continuing to try to be the number 1 seed in the AFC, which is still in contention, even though the Broncos are looking spicy as well. Huge spread, 13.5 points. This is Adam's staff play. He took the Patriots and the points. He thinks he's going to BTA him today. Triz, it's your squad. Are you scared of the 13.5, or do you think that Drake May just whips the belt out and does the business to the Jets?
I'm pretty sure it's belt. It's got to be belt. After dropping that game last week the way they did, it's got to be belt. They're coming back for a little bit, for not for revenge, so to say. We've already kind of given this team the belt before, but now you see, I mean, is Cook starting again? I think he is, right?
Let Brady cook. Yes, he is.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Look at the statistics of rookie quarterbacks, first-year quarterbacks against the Patriots defenses. It's very low, and so I don't even think Pop needs to play. I don't think Booty needs to play. I still think this is probably going to be belt. You're getting Henderson back here as well, so probably just run the ball down their throats, kind of bleed out the clock. The only way I see this is going to feel like belt the whole time, but if they don't cover, it's because it's a low-scoring game. That's what I feel. They're gonna bleed a lot of clock today. It's a beautiful day in they're in New York?
They're in MetLife, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice out here in Boston, so I can't imagine it's too different over there. Probably just going to be a normal slugfest AFC East matchup, but I don't see how it's not belt.
I'm scared of the backdoor cover here for Meemaw popping in, but it does feel like a 2 to 3 touchdown win for the Patriots, with the Jets literally nothing to play for here. Anything else we want to add on this game, boys? I got nothing else to add here. I didn't even bet this game.
I was just waiting for word on Pop Douglas if he's going to play or not. Just because I know Boute's not playing this year. Booty. I think that against man coverage, fantastic. I took him last week. Boute? I don't know.
It's Booty. Just don't listen to Sook today. Yeah. Just figure out a way to mute Sook in your head and just.
There you go. I found a way. That's how I'm going to do that. But Pop Douglas, if he does play, he's been torching man coverage this season, and then I think he's going to see an increased amount of snaps just because of the injuries in that Patriots wide receiver room. So maybe that's a look, but I thought we'd have his status by now. So maybe just avoid it, because if he's even a little bit wonky, he's a one-play guy. He might just go out there and then you see his ass on the bench.
It was kind of unfortunate. This is more talking about the Patriots going into the playoffs, but Mac Hollins has gone on the IR, which kind of happened yesterday amid all the news stuff that happened, him going on the IR for 4 weeks. So he's going to miss the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. If they, get that to that point, won't be able to play until the AFC Championship game if the Patriots get there. So unfortunate for him, he's been great for this team all season long. But we'll see how that plays out. I don't think it's going to matter today, but maybe the next week, maybe in the divisional round / the wild card round, depending on what happens with Mac and the Pats today. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the next game. This one has a lot on the line for both teams. Colts taking on the Jags. Texans winning yesterday, unfortunately, and I think that this is still correct. So correct me if I'm wrong here, boys. But the Texans winning yesterday eliminated the Colts from playoff contention.
Yep.
Pretty sure that was the situation on the line. So nothing to play for from the Colts, except for the fact that they can just ruin Jacksonville's possibility of being the top 3 seed. They can also ruin the Jags' possibility of being the AFC South champions, because the Texans won yesterday as well. So Old Man Rivers and company don't have anything to play for from a season perspective in the fact of what we're looking at in the playoffs, but they can ruin the Jags' day. 6-point spread was the spread earlier this week. This spread has dropped down to 4.5 in some places now, but I'll let Triz take it away on why he likes maybe Old Man Rivers to play a little bit of some fun today. But to do that, Triz, let's go dancing.
This is the rhythm of my life. My life. Oh yeah. I know you wanna say it. This is the rhythm of the night.
Go ahead, Triz. Get after it.
Oh, oh my man. So I like the Colts today here. I think this is a perfect sell high spot on the Jags. This Jags team's won 7 in a row. Can we believe that? They've won 7 games in a row. And so we've seen some of the worst teams kind of hang around. The Texans actually, I believe they almost stole one from them. And on top of that, I remember when the Raiders almost stole one on them. So it's hard for me to believe after watching how Rivers played last week on primetime. It's hard for me to believe that the Jags are going to run away from this one. I think Old Man Rivers is probably going to keep this team hanging around. And it's just they're never going to. Maybe it looks like the Jags are in control the whole game, but I just don't think they're ever going to kind of pull away. We see this line down to 4.5. Jags coming off a huge win in Denver, kind of putting BTA against that team. How do they not put a BTA against this Colts team that, again, just got the belt on primetime? It's very short spread in those conditions there. So, again, I don't think I think this Jags team is a little too hot right now, and they're running into a divisional opponent here, especially having to travel to Indy, I believe. And yeah, they're traveling to Indy, playing in Indy. Now the Colts aren't playing for really anything. They're just going to try to go out there and ball out. So I really like the Colts on the spread here today. And I would not, maybe a little bit of a hot take, but I would not be surprised if they steal one here over the Jags and the AFC South gets a little interesting.
Just to add a little bit, more to this and some incentive for the Colts, because I know they're not playing for too much, but really, this is Phillip Rivers. He's come back at 40 years old. I don't even know how old he is, but
45.
He is 251 pass yards shy of Ben Roethlisberger for 5th all time in passing yards. That to me is something that is very much within distance, not only because he might not play in week 18, just with now them being eliminated, Riley Leonard coming back in and getting the start. Maybe in week 18, it feels like one of those things just because of his age, the fact that they're not really playing for much. I think this is the week for him to try and go get this record. Last week, we saw him air it out again and again. He found Alec Pierce multiple times. I was looking at some receiving props. I know that Chef's staff play this week is Alec Pierce's receiving yards, and I like that a lot. Just basically for the sole reason I think Phillip Rivers is going to air it out, trying to get to 5th. Like, this isn't somebody going from 7th to 8th or 9th to 8th. This is you are top 5 in passing yards all time in the NFL, and he is in a very, very special position to be able to do this after a almost 8-9 year hiatus. I mean, I like it. 251 yards is what he needs. And I'm looking at the receivers more than I am his passing yards individually.
Yeah, I'm on Alec Pierce as well. I took it earlier this week. I didn't get as good of a number. 39.5 receiving yards was the line I got, but I'm with you. I like this a lot. He's hit this in 3 straight games against Jacksonville too, and Rivers just is looking Alec Pierce's way over the last couple of weeks since he's come in to start kind of gaining that little bit of chemistry, and I guess in the few practices they've had. The other one I like a lot, Betsky's on this. That's his staff article play. I locked it in earlier this week. Kind of goes into what we're talking about with Trizzy thinking the Colts keep this game close. Trevor Lawrence has been absolutely awesome over the last month of the season. 236.5 passing yards feels way too low for T-Law. Last 6 quarterbacks against the Colts secondary, 30th in the NFL to passing yards allowed, have gone over their passing yards. Brock Purdy, obviously the last one on Monday Night Football, torching the secondary. And I think that T-Law has a chance to do the same thing again today. But to wrap it up, as Triz said, Colts plus 5.5. That's his favorite play. He's been awesome. He's leading the staff article at 13-3. And the RITHMM model likes it as well. It's one of their favorite plays today, too. You can get involved with RITHMM with our promo code VIBES25 to get 25% off your subscription. Go check it out. It's just like paying for Netflix, but a little cheaper. We're also going to be doing some really fun stuff in the new year with RITHMM as well, with some NBA action, also some college basketball. The boys at Up Your Units are going to be doing some stuff. They're going to be dancing on Up Your Units as well with the RITHMM model. So go get involved with RITHMM. Get 25% off your sub. Check it out. Build the models that you want. Madison Beer's not there, Chad. I'm sorry. But this is the type of model that you can use on your phone and you'll like. I promise. Go check it out and get involved. Anything else in this game you want to mention? I think there could be a lot of props in this one, like you said. I kind of like the over, too.
I did take BTJ. I took Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown. Plus 195.
Let's go.
I like him to get in today. He's kind of getting a little bit more involved, kind of coming back into his form, like the BTJ that we – I like him to get in.
Oh, yeah, I like that. I also like Jacoby Myers' yards. He's been really, really good, and they've been utilizing him in so many different ways. Colts have also been very, very bad against the pass, and especially in the slot. Myers has been doing crazy work out of that spot, and I think the connection him and Trevor Lawrence have built the kind of led to a lot of these wins, especially with BTJ missing time.
I also have him on my fantasy team, although it's in the league that doesn't really matter, so it doesn't matter too much. So it doesn't. But he also has had spectacular games against the Colts, like 3 straight against the Colts. He's gone over 80 receiving yards, even though Jacoby Meyer is now in the lineup and it's a little different, the target share and stuff too. But yeah, stick around, man. We're talking through every single game, so keep rocking and rolling. We're getting after it. Anything else on this Colts game? So do you have anything to add for this game?
I almost took the Colts on the money line. I just think they've been so bad lately that they're due for one. They don't want to end this season the way that it's gone. Like that has to be very, very troubling for that locker room, because there was a lot of hope in the first 7 weeks of this season. So I definitely do think that the Colts could maybe make some noise today.
7-1 start, and then you lose 6 of the next 7. Just absolutely. Oof.
Oh, I would be so sad if I was a Colts fan. That's tough. But I'm a Bucks fan, so I'm also sad. So we dealt with the same shit.
This might also leak its way into our sides and totals lay. We'll see. All right, let's talk about another huge game with a lot on the line. Steelers taking on the Browns. Steelers have a chance to lock up. I'm pretty sure they have a chance to lock up the division with a win today against the Cleveland Browns. Browns get a chance to play spoiler in that opportunity, as the Ravens might come knocking to the Steelers' door next week. That could be a massive game with a lot of implications if the Browns can get a dub today. Shedeur Sanders and company, 3-point dogs at home. Crazy low total. Triz, you talked about these totals over the last month with this Browns team. Look at that one today. 34. 35.5, so it's up a point, but still so low. Interesting game, man. This spread makes no sense to me, which makes me feel like that it's just, I don't know, it's got a trap written all over it. Shags took the Steelers in this points in his staff article play. I lean that direction pretty heavily too, but I don't know, man. It just feels fishy. I got nothing in this game. Triz, talk about the line. What do you think about the line here?
Most bet spread today. Pittsburgh Steelers -3. Lines moved to 4.5 now. Feels like one of those days where it lands right in the middle of the current spread and the opening spread. Feels like one of those types of games. I don't really. We've seen Aaron Rodgers in this Pittsburgh offense struggle against way, way worse defenses. Like way, way worse defense. They couldn't score a touchdown against the Chargers on primetime. Do we remember that? That was less than a month ago, maybe. I don't see how they're going to come in here and beat this Browns defense by a touchdown. I just don't. I think that's a little unrealistic. Maybe they win the game by a field goal. Maybe the spread makes a little bit of sense then, but I don't know. I find it hard to believe that the Browns aren't going to hang around this game. Take Shedeur out of it. The defense is basically the whole team anyway. So it's. I just think the Browns defense is going to really keep them in this game. I just find it very, very hard to believe with how well this Browns defense has been playing. And even like the Steelers offense has been kind of clicking in recent weeks, but it wasn't like that all season. So I feel like it's got to drop down to the median. We got to kind of average out here, and there's no other time to average out than against a really stout Browns defense.
What do you think about Gainwell then? Speaking of their offense, and it seems like Rodgers and Gainwell kind of have been building a rapport. Do you think that running back can look like a wide receiver again today, or what are you thinking?
I was actually looking at MVS for the Steelers. They brought him in. Aaron Rodgers loves him. They almost connected on a couple of really big deep balls last week. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to have time to throw the football. I don't know if he's going to have any success throwing the football, to be 100% honest. They had no DK today as well, right? Like, I didn't even touch on that as far as the Browns love. There's no DK in this game. So how are the Steelers scoring points, really? Like, yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's tough. Rodgers is 41-42. It's a little bit harder to make those lower end receivers and lower end tight ends look a little better at that age, with the mobility he has at this point. I don't know, man. The spread seems fishy, as you said. Most bet spread today as well.
Gainwell is a good pull, Sook. He's been awesome. His rushing and receiving yards line feels very comfortable. Jalen Warren also had a fantastic game running the football last week against Detroit. And this Browns defense has been bad stopping the run, especially the last 4 games. Good to start the season, bad this season, or bad over the last month, like I mentioned. Again, this spread, and just B-Dot said it earlier. And I mean, you know, if you want a tinfoil hat, this makes a bunch of sense.
This
Like,
is
it really
what I
does.
was kind of waiting to say. Like, putting my tinfoil hat on, how much sense does it make for next week's game to be flexed to prime time? We got an AFC North battle, playoff spot on the line, division on the line. Lamar Jackson could be back in the lineup. DK's appeal is right now being looked at. I have no fucking idea what's going to happen or how it's going to happen with how bad Shadur has been. But my God, this line is fishy. The total's fishy. And it was just in chat. The weather's ugly, boys. High amounts of rain. It's very cold, very windy. It doesn't look like it's going to be points weather. It feels like it's going to be football weather, and the kind of football weather where we see some turnovers, we see some, some sacks. And Myles Garrett's hunting for that sack record. He's a half sack short. 1 full sack will give him the record officially. I don't know. I think Trizzy's right. This could be one of those ugly ass grind 'em out games. So you're muted.
It's okay. We didn't need to hear that. I said hunting for sacks sounds like your Saturday night.
Could have just kept yourself muted for that. But you decided to unmute yourself to say it again. Okay,
After
fair enough.
saying we didn't need to hear it. And then he's but
It's
yeah.
like the 3rd time.
One guy I did take those, Darnell Washington, over 24.5 receiving yards. The reason I did is because of everything Trizzy said. I took the touchdown too. Plus 490, that's a little wild. But let's talk about the receiving yards. Like Trizzy said, who's going to catch the ball? The weather's ugly. He has shown a fondness for his tight ends. And this is a guy that has been fantastic in yards after the catch. Boys, he is 3rd in the league in yards after the catch per reception, averaging 7.66 yards after the catch. I think this is a guy that if you get him the ball, he is going to make guys miss. We've seen how big he is, how much he's able to break tackles. And in this kind of weather, that is sometimes what you need. You need to get the big boy the ball and let him run down the field, right? Let the big boy do the big boy things and let him get in the end zone for plus 490 because I would love that too. But yeah, that's all
Nice.
I've got.
Hell yeah. This is, again, gross game, man. Grody game. Would not be shocked whatsoever if the Steelers win this game by a touchdown. Would also not be shocked whatsoever if we look up and the Browns randomly win for all the different reasons we talked about. So, funky game. See what happens in the battle of nastiness in the AFC North. Also, this is one of those games, too. How many Browns fans are going to be at this game? Like, could you imagine going to watch your team in a meaningless game when it's raining and sub-zero? Like, that sounds terrible.
I think you underestimate how nuts these Browns fans are.
Yeah, I was gonna
They've
say,
been doing it their
I
whole
know.
lives.
They haven't been
I-
good in
They're-
I don't even know. I mean, they
They're
were
born in the
decent with
darkness.
Baker for 2 years, but other than that, they haven't been good like ever. I feel like they've never really gone and watched meaningful football over there. So
They're
they're
going to be
still
a bunch of
looking for
guys with
meaningful
tarps
football.
off for sure.
Yeah.
They almost sold out for the tie. Yeah, Steelers fan. What's up? SOOTG. All right, boys. Last 2 games in the early slate, and then we'll move to the late slate. Sook is a big Seahawks guy today. Really big Seahawks guy because he needs them to take care of business against the Panthers. Seahawks, Panthers, 7-point spread here, 6.5 in some places. It dropped below the touchdown number. 42 flat, 42.5 depending on where you're shopping. As I mentioned, the Carolina Panthers have a chance. Do they have a chance to win the division today, Sook, if they win this game?
Not win
Bucks-
the division, but they'll be in the driver's seat if they do get this dub.
Yeah. All right. So the Panthers pretty much get to the point where that last game of the season, as long as they just don't shit the bed, they'll be fine against the Bucks. However, the Seahawks on the other side of things don't really have a lot to play for except continuing to be the number 1 seed. Yeah, a huge Panthers guy today. There you go, Synergy. It's hard. Again, tough situationally here. I know Rico Dowdle under rushing yards was Kate's play today with everything he has on the line and incentives. It's hard to kind of want to get on board with that, but the logic makes sense with how good the Seahawks defense has been. Seahawks have a chance to I'm pretty sure they have a chance to lock up the number 1 seed if they win this football game. I know the Niners still have some stuff to say there. Rams obviously too, but if the Niners win on this evening, we'll see what happens there. But the Seahawks have a chance to be in the driver's seat too if they win this game, and it is a touchdown spread. I got nothing in this one. Sauceman, you're muted. Do you want to lead us off? And if you got anything in this game, you don't want to lead us off. All right, Triz, take it away. Do you got anything in this one?
Yeah, I'm on the Seahawks here. I took the Seahawks, but I took the Seahawks on the spread. I think the spread's very wide for how this Panthers team has been playing. They just came away with a win over the Bucks. Seahawks sneaked one out on primetime over the Rams. Maybe that's why it's 7, because the Rams are looked at one of the better teams of the league. But again, you look at this Panthers team; they're winning a lot of games. They're making some noise over here, and I think with a 7-point spread, that's very. It's a lot of points, and especially going to Carolina 7. So that means if this game was in Seattle, it's a 10-point spread. I feel like that's kind of crazy. So I'm gonna kind of lean with the Seahawks here. I think the books kind of know something. I think the Seahawks kind of put BTA here. I mean, last week they were the underdog, they won, but against the Colts they could not cover. They couldn't cover their spread. That was a big spread. And only snuck out of that game by 2. So again, books had no problem hanging another big spread on them against this Panthers team. So I think they cover. They win by a touchdown. I think they run the football all over Carolina.
When I looked at the spread earlier in the week when we were talking about it, I lean with the Seahawks too. Panthers have made some funny wins this season / covered big spreads in lots of situations where people didn't think they were going to. But this feels like a spot where the Seahawks might come out and give them the business. Colby is also on the Panthers plus the points for his staff article play. Wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if they lose by 7 and covers. Any other thoughts on some props in this one? Chat's talking about a few props in the game. If you want to get involved with some stuff the chat's mentioning, anybody got any officials that they want to mention in the prop department? Coach, you're muted.
Oh, muted.
Coach, you're muted.
All right.
Okay.
Now, nobody gets it. No, I'm just kidding. JSN. I'm going up against him in my fantasy football finals, so I just know that he's going to go absolutely bonkers because that's how that works. Panthers have also been pretty good defensively, but this defense, we saw what Darnold did last week. 16 points in that fourth quarter after 2 interceptions in that second half too. I don't know. It feels like the Seahawks team is different this year. It feels like they don't give up in games, and the defense has been elite. But all that being said, the Panthers only come out to play when everybody thinks that they have gone home or mailed it in. So, wins against the Rams, the Packers, the Buccaneers. I don't know. It's a weird team, but I'm gonna tune into this one. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line today. One more mention. I didn't bet this, but I like this quite a bit. Zach Charbonnet over 35.5 rushing and receiving yards. It's been really, really good. Him and Kenneth Walker kind of splitting time in the backfield, obviously, for this Panthers team, for the Seahawks team. But I've been on the Charbonnet train. I've been on my fantasy team too, which has been helpful because he is kind of a vulture when he gets to the end zone with the red zone too. But he's been good in the pass department, been good in the rushing department. 35.5 for his rushing and receiving yard line feels very comfortable. And the touchdown at what's the line? Plus 130. Also kind of telling too. So
this point about Darnold, I think, is also going to be he needs passing touchdowns. They might just be airing it out a little bit more. And it's not that he's going to need it, but I mean, he might send some deep shots out. He's been more than happy to do that too. It's on the road, but Carolina, the weather's not too much of an issue from what I'm seeing, I think. And hey man, you might find some value on a guy like AJ Bardner, because are all 4 touchdowns going to go to JSN? I highly doubt that. And now that I say that, he probably has 4, and I'm going to get fucked in fantasy.
I mean, just because you're mentioning
did that to yourself.
I'm going to bet 4 now. That's never hitting. So
go ahead, Sick.
I was just going to say Dowdle's 70 yards away from a milli. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, Kate is on his under. Even though Blur Sauce was Kate is on his under purely off the matchup. So we'll see what happens with that. I had to put it in the article, in the article, and then I had to put it in the 12-leg parlay, and my hand was like,
I don't have it on my book.
I can't find this line. I cannot find this line. Where is this under? Can't see it. Except it was there, unfortunately. All right, let's move on. Last game in the early window. Chat, drop a dub if you're enjoying the show today. A lot of you guys are getting involved in the chat. We love to see it. If you're watching us on Twitter, thanks for being here. If you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for being here. But come and hang out with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/bettingnews. Best way to watch the show. We go live every single Sunday breaking down the NFL slate right here on the Gridiron Gang. Vibes are high. We also go live every single day. So if this is your first time, come back and hang out with us tomorrow. All right, guys. Last game, early window. Save the best for last. Titans taking on the Mother Shuckers. The New Orleans Saints coming to town to Nashville to take on Cam Ward and company. 2.5 points is the spread. It's actually dropped down to 1.5 now for the Titans. I wish I got involved with the 3 when it opened up earlier this week. 39.5 point total. Interestingly, like I mentioned to start us off, these two teams have been playing some of the best football over the last 3 weeks of the season. I know it sounds shocking because these teams are bad, but they have been very good over the last 3 games. Saints are 3 winners of 3 straight. Titans have won 2 of their last 3 and put up a bunch of points last week against the Chiefs, even though that was a meaningless game for both of those teams. So of all the meaningless games today, this one actually could be fairly entertaining. I don't have any bets in this game except on the Saints side of things, but I kind of like the Titans to cover. Didn't bet them. I have a Titans hat on. I'm a fan of this team, so I'm not going to tell you guys to bet them specifically, but I like the 2.5 earlier this week. I didn't lock it in specifically. Probably going to let it alone now since it's 1.5 now, but I think the Titans can win this game outright.
The reason I'm just a little bit hesitant on that, SPJ, is because I think get losing. I think that the Saints are just vibing. You know what I mean? They've already won 3 games in a row. This could be their 4th. It could be the first time they've done it since 2017. Like I said, Shuck's been good. Olave's been good. And just because the Titans have more, like they would be in a better position. They're looking for a new head coach in this offseason anyways, and there's a bunch of 3-win teams right now and a Browns team that's sitting on a short spread. So you guys could end up with a much better draft pick than expected. On the other side, though, I was looking at Juwan Johnson. He's got some incentives on deck that I was looking at that I thought he has a really good matchup too in this matchup. I know you're going to talk about Chris Olave, but Juwan Johnson's also really, really been good. He had 9 targets last week, caught 8 of them, had 80-plus yards, and this is a Titans defense that does give up a ton through the air, and they've been playing good offensively. So like you said, SPJ, I think this is going to be a game where maybe it's a little bit closer than we think. You had a line at 46.5, and 22nd in pass yards allowed for the Titans. He had 9 targets, 8 catches for 89 yards. He's been really good, and he's 67 yards shy of another $250,000 bonus. Obviously, he could get it next week as well, but I'm just saying the line's sitting at 49.5. So I took that.
No, I like it. It makes a lot of sense. Go ahead, Triz. I got a prop to talk about, but what's your thoughts on this game as a whole?
I took the Titans.
Let's
Took
go.
Titans at 1.5 points. I mean, you don't really need to take the spread. You could probably take the money line. This makes no sense. Reverse line movement here. The Saints are getting slammed. It is one of the other most bet spreads of the week. I believe it was the 3rd on the list. So it's one of the most bet spreads this week, and somehow this line's moving backwards. I don't think it makes too much sense with how red hot the Saints team has been. As we mentioned before, Tyler Shaw's playing very, very good. And I mean, Cam Ward has been secretly balling out. He's not really putting up the best numbers, but he's been cooking. So again, you're playing 2 really bad teams here. And I mean, short spread for 2 really bad teams, and only one of them's playing really good. So I'm going to take Cam Ward, the former number 1 overall pick, to get something done today at home. So I like it. I think it's gross. It's nasty. It's one of those hold your nose type of plays. But we got to remember here, the Saints team has won 3 in a row, but they are very bad. So you're betting on 2 very bad teams here, and I'm going to take one that has potential. And on a short line here, I think this is the reverse line movement is very sus to me. I have to jump in on it. I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't bet the Titans today. Yeah,
like I said, I'm pissed I didn't get the 2.5. I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Titans could win this game outright, but it's a win-win for me. If they lose, as V said, they get a better draft position. As long as they just keep playing well and Cam Ward keeps developing, that's all I care about in this game. Tyler Shuck, as you mentioned, also has been very good too. So get to see 2 young quarterbacks with the opportunity to be franchise quarterbacks possibly look like that today in Nashville.
I want to ask you about this other guy before you get into your play. Sorry, DK. He's had a touchdown, I think, in 3 of his last 6 games. His target share has really increased over the last few weeks, and he is a vertical threat. This is a Saints team that is bottom 10 in pass rush. They're not generating pressure. I know Cam Jordan is playing possibly his last 2 games, but this is a guy that they haven't done anything all year against opposing QBs. And if Cam Ward has a little bit of time in the pocket and developing routes downfield, is DK not likely to catch a bomb?
I love his touchdown. plus 275 in certain spots. You also get the benefit of the fact if he can also return a kickoff or a punt for a touchdown as well. He's the kicker. He also just got announced this week that he will be the Pro Bowl starter for the AFC as the returner for the AFC, as he's been the best returner in the kicking game this season. Chimere Dike, learn the name. I like him a lot, though. They've been getting him more and more involved in the offense, too, especially in getting more wide receiver reps. He also they run him like a lot of bubble screens and things like that. He hasn't hit one of those yet for a big play, but I like his receiving yards, too. I started him in fantasy this week in our league when I have to win because I kind of had to, but he scored me a touchdown last week. So I like the touchdown for plus 275. I think you're onto something there, too.
Okay.
Yeah, just to mention the other play I have in this game on the other side of things. Like I said, I'll probably end up taking the Titans in my own little corner with Triz, but I love Chris Olave in this spot. 68.5 receiving yards. As you mentioned, we talked about it earlier in the show. He went over this line, soared last week, over 100 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns with Tyler Shuck, finally making that connection with 10 catches. I think he has his opportunity to do the same thing again today. This Titans secondary is pretty bad. It's a bunch of guys you don't really know are undrafted free agents or late round picks that are just trying to make their name in the NFL because of injuries across the board for the Titans. It didn't really matter when they were healthy, though. They were a bottom 5 unit stopping the pass, and I think that's going to be on display once again today. So Olave, 68.5. Wouldn't be surprised if we look up and he had 100 and a touchdown once again this week. As I mentioned, though, should be a fun game for 2 bad teams. So if you do want to, this one might pop up on Red Zone more often than you think. And if you haven't been watching Saints or Titans games, yeah, they've been kind of low key cooking. So, all right, let's move on to the late window, lads. Jump into what we got going on in.
Sorry, one last point on that game. Your boy Van Jefferson, he's 4 receptions away from $100,000. You can get the 3 receptions for plus money on most books. I don't know how you feel about that prop, SPJ. You're kind of the Titans guy here, so how do you feel?
I think this is one of those situations where you could probably lean into that a little more, especially because he's a veteran. I don't think he's going to be on the team next year. He got brought in to be helpful to that young wide receiver room. And Mike McCoy seems like the type of coach, even though he's not going to interim coach or whatever, that wants to get a guy like that the bag in his last little moments of this season with nothing to play for. So I wouldn't be.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you look up and he has 3 or 4 catches today, or if he might have 2 today and 2 next week. Do it that way around, but wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. I don't know how much we're going to spend on this next game, but we got to talk about it. Late window starts here, and it's the battle of who wants to have the number 1 overall pick. Both teams have made it pretty clear that they want it, as they are sitting out stars across the board. Gino and company, 1-point dogs, 2.5-point dogs now. Giants favored here, Jackson Dart and Tyrone Tracy, as you can see on the screen. The winner of this game is no longer the number 1 overall pick. The loser of this game will then be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. So both of these teams with nothing to play for except just trying to be bad. Who could be the worst in this game? As I mentioned earlier, Ashton Jeanty, great matchup here against the Giants with one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL. Guys, I mean, Max Crosby's not playing. It's looking like Max Crosby's also pissed off he's not playing in this game, so he might be leaving the Raiders in the offseason. Maybe that's just some news bullshit, but he was mad that they sat him out, even though he is going to get some sort of knee surgery. So he did actually need some sort of surgery, but he was pissed that they didn't let him play in this game. I got nothing. Probably don't even get – I hope this game just goes away and nothing happens. But
yeah, no Brock Bowers. They've shut him down, too, for the rest of the year. Multiple offensive linemen have been shut down for the New York Giants as well. It's like this entire week was just a tit for tat. Who are you going to sit? I'll do you one better. And I really don't even know who's going to be playing. I was surprised Jeanty was going to be active for this game. I guess he's a rookie and, he's got maybe some awards on the line and things like that. But yeah, I'm with you, SPJ. I have no clue where to go with this one.
To me, it seems like the Raiders are really trying to lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
Gino might be playing, but with sitting Crosby and just some of the stuff that sitting Bowers, shutting him down for it does not seem like they're trying to win anymore. Whereas I can't trust that Jackson Dart and Tyrone Tracy and Wan'Dale Robinson, the way that they've been kind of clicking over there. I can't trust that they're willing to not win this game. I feel like it would mean more to them to get a few wins to go into next season. I don't think the Giants care that much about the draft pick. They have their quarterback. They have a great wide receiver. A top 5 they probably care about, but I feel like that's pretty locked up here. Whether they win or they don't win, it's probably top 5 here. So I like the Giants. I'm not playing the Giants. I just think the Raiders are really trying to lose this game. They're doing everything they can.
I have Tyrone Tracy starting in my fantasy league, so it'd be great if he had a big day. He's been good over the last few weeks, too. The Raiders' defense is also just buns. So, yeah, I think we kind of are all on the same page here. That would not be surprised if the Giants win this game by a touchdown. Would also not be surprised if they do some janky shit and the Raiders end up winning this game, too. Like, neither of those results would surprise me whatsoever.
I did want to talk about this. The total's 41.5. Is that not crazy low? For these two teams, I looked at that and was kind of shocked by that. Like, I feel like it should be 51. I mean, I don't know. This Jackson Darts proved that he can put up points. They've scored, and the Raiders' defense is trash. The Raiders have also kind of proven in certain times this season they could put up points. So maybe it's because Bowers is sitting, and I'm not sure, but especially no Crosby on that Raiders D line. How do the Giants not score 21, 28 themselves? You know,
three of the last 4 games for the Raiders have gone over, and 9 of the last 10 games for the Giants have gone over this total. The only lone loss in the over department was last week for the Giants. So, yeah, interesting stuff there too. All right, anything else on this game we want to talk about, or shall we jump to the way more entertaining, interesting game in the late window in comparison to this one?
Can I just complain? Two late window games. I know we had a week full of all these games with Christmas, but 2 late window games. Can't really get 3. Come on.
Yeah, big facts. But at least one of them's good.
I think they could have withheld one of the games last night. Definitely. I don't think we needed 2 yesterday.
Didn't need that Packers game whatsoever.
I feel like outside,
right?
outside looking in, that Packers game had all the excitement needed. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I feel like Texans Chargers probably would have served the league and all of us fans a little bit better at 4:30 today.
Yeah. I agree. Also, I have a real quick gripe about this. Can NFL Network just give up on Rich Eisen calling football games?
Yes,
please just get. He's great for his podcast. He's good on his show. He is a terrible broadcaster of NFL games. Like, Kurt Warner's fine, like whatever, but Rich Eisen is awful. Like, that game, like on NFL Network, and the call of that game was bad. Like, can we just stop with that, please? We got so many other people calling games that are way better. Like, just, I know Rich probably just wants to do a game a year for the vibes, but like, you got your show, big dog. Just go do that. Big game in this late window. Again, unless you're a fan of the Giants or the Raiders, you ain't watching that game. You're going to watch this one instead. Bills, Eagles. As you can see on the screen, this was a pick'em earlier this week. No longer, though. Buffalo are now 3-point favorites in this game. Like, guys, huge move from the pick'em that it was earlier this week. The total is still sitting at a solid 44. No love for Philadelphia, though. I got a prop in this game. It's chalky, and I'll kind of lead us off with that. It should be a fun game in the fact that the Bills need to win to kind of stick around and push the Patriots to possibly compete to win the AFC East. The Eagles, on the other hand, have kind of locked up everything, so they don't have a bunch to play for here except just seeding purposes. So they don't really have too much on the line. So that's probably why the line has moved more towards Buffalo. I took Saquon over 80.5 rushing yards. I don't know how much he's going to play/run in this game based on the incentive aspect of things and the fact that they don't have much to play for as a team. However, this Buffalo Bills defense is terrible stopping the run. Saquon has been great the last 4 weeks too. So I think that this line at 80.5 feels comfortable to me. Not as confident as I was earlier in the week when I bet it, now that the Eagles don't have as much to play for in this game. But I think that Saquon has a chance to have a good game on the ground. Also kind of lean with the Bills now with this line move, but yeah, and kind of missed the boat on the number, I think.
I'm kind of leaning the other way. I
Eagles?
think the line moves unwarranted. I think the line moves the public. I don't think the line move. I just don't see how. Again, this Bills team, they had to fight to come back and beat the Patriots last week. Like, they were down 21 points at one point. I mean, I don't know, with how decimated their D line has really been, and how they cannot stop the run for the most part. Last week they did a pretty good job at keeping Stevenson and the other Patriot running back in check. But Saquon and Jalen Hurts are not Ramondre Stevenson and Drake May in any sense of the word. They're much better rushers of the ball. So again, I think the Eagles are probably going to run the ball all over the Bills today, and that's going to chew up a lot of clock too. So I think this line moves a little unwarranted. Maybe it's just based off of what the Bills have to play for versus what the Eagles have to play for. If the Bills get up 2-3 touchdowns, maybe the Eagles sit guys. Not entirely sure, but I lean with the Eagles here. I think this Eagles team is a much better team, much better team than this Bills team. This Bills team has been skating by. Yeah, how do you not trust this Eagles defense? In my opinion, the Bills wide receivers have been struggling all year. The Eagles have a great secondary. I don't think they're going to get it going today. Jalen Carter back on the defensive line for the Eagles, that the kind of tightening up a little bit here. So I don't know. I think they're going to put Josh Allen in some fits today. I think this line is probably unwarranted in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I couldn't decide. The Eagles' offensive line and their issues have given me a little bit give me some pause. I just don't know if I want to put my money on Jalen Hurts yet. I don't have anything official in this one. I was looking at Allen rushing yards in this situation just because, like, he's had to do everything for this Bills team, and if they're going to stay alive in this divisional race, somehow, some way, it's going to be him moving the ball on the ground, getting in the end zone probably too. We talked about the Khalil Shakir incentives as well. I know he needs one touchdown for a pretty big payday, some yards. I think Dawson Knox is another underrated one. He needs one catch, I think, for a big bonus and one touchdown for another big bonus. He dropped one last week, literally in the end zone, that would have cashed him out, and I'm sure this might be the week. I'm not saying they're going to try to force feed him, but they love to go to the tight ends. They love to do that near the red zone, and I think that this is another situation where maybe – the backup tight end. They run a ton of 3 tight end sets. Not as much as the Steelers will, but still quite a pretty high number.
Mm-hmm. Michael Mayer was mentioned just for Ron in the chat. Danny actually bet that earlier this week, Ron, so he's with you on that one to go back to that game. But yeah, this line, the spread feels weird, man. Like, it just feels funky now that it's the pick 'em made sense. Now that it's 3, it's just wild.
I wanted to add, you're getting the Eagles in a sharp spot. When does that ever happen?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you not feel comfortable taking the Eagles in the sharp spot with points? With points. You can
Sure.
get a field goal.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 late window games. Weird. That's it. That's the late window. We can touch on Sunday Night Football. I don't have any bets yet. Probably have something a little bit later, but we can maybe touch on it if you guys have something right now. Huge game. 49ers taking on the Bears. Bears locked up the division last night. Where's Danny? Danny in the chat? But Niners have a lot to play for. Still can compete to win the NFC West. Also are competing to possibly still be the number 1 overall seed. Apparently, George Kittle's probably not going to play in this game. I saw some reports from Adam Schefter earlier that he's most likely going to miss this game, which is unfortunate because he loves playing against the Bears. So that's unfortunate for Niners fans. But the Niners have been in these situations all season long where guys have sat out, guys have missed games, their defenses missed games, et cetera, and it hasn't mattered. And the line is kind of starting to speak that direction too. As you can see, it was earlier at 3. Now it's 3.5. So Vegas likes the hook now too. You're getting the 3 and the half a point as well. Feels like Niners, boys. I don't know, man. I haven't bet it yet, but I think the Niners might win by a touchdown or more here.
I took a touchdown in this game. I took Luther Burden to score a touchdown. The Green Book is offering that King of the End Zone bet too. I used it on that. This is a guy that hasn't scored since September. Rome Odunze is out, so obviously the number is going to be a little lower, but it's still incredibly low. I got it at plus 215. It might be plus 220 now, whatever the case is. I think this is a very skilled player. This kid's very athletic. He can go and get the deep ball, and we just saw the San Fran defense kind of torched by old man Rivers. So I think Caleb and him could definitely connect on a long play here, and I think the line's a little low, even with Odunze being out and him being the number 2 option over there. He hasn't scored since September, so I'm going to take him today, plus 215 tonight. I might even sprinkle the first touchdown or try to get a little sharp with it in that way, but I think he gets in the end zone tonight. And I liked the over here as well. I thought there was going to be a lot of points, but I saw some reverse line movement on this morning. It seems like the over is getting a lot of love, and on every book, every split I can see, it's been getting hammered. It has over 90% of the handle, over 80% of the bets on everywhere I can check, and the line actually moved down a point today. So I kind of sussed me out. Maybe it's a little primetime slugfest in certain aspects. 52 is a lot of points to begin with. I would not be surprised if this is a 24-21 game. Still very exciting, but just not sneaking over that 52. So
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I think this is also a team that gives up a ton of big plays in San Francisco because of the lack of a pass rush. I think Luther Burden is a guy that they have shown he is more than happy to stretch the ball vertically. They've even whipped out some things like flea flickers to get this guy open downfield. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that, with the vibes very, very much high in Chicago right now. Not only did the Lions playing like shit, but the Packers lost last night. They locked up the division. And Ben Johnson's a freak. We talk about this all the time with the Lions and how they used to game plan. It's like, yo, why don't you keep this in your bag for the playoffs, right? Because Ben Johnson's a sicko and he's got a ton in his bag, I guess. But disgruntledly, I think maybe, we see some of that tonight. I do think, though, I lean with the Niners on the money line.
I like DeAndre Swift a lot too. His rushing yards line at 56.5. Been betting him a lot over the last few weeks. This Bears rushing attack is the number one rushing game in the rushing attack in the NFL right now between Swift and Monungai. Don't hate the 56.5 for Swift. Like the carries too at 12.5 over there as well. I also think Christian McCaffrey on the other side can have a big day on the ground. So as you mentioned, Triz, could be one of those games where it doesn't go over the total, but there's still a lot of points and exciting stuff happening tonight in San Francisco. So be on the lookout on the timeline for some more action. You can go to bettingnews.com to read more about this game later tonight. I'll probably be posting some fun stuff as well in association to this game to take us home and tuck us in on Twitter. All right, boys. Week 17.
Oh,
I'm trying to cook.
That Giants line's up to 3.
Wow.
I think that's 2 points today?
Yeah. That's crazy.
That is nuts.
That's crazy.
The Colts line's down to 3.5 too. So GG's 2.5 points.
Yeah.
2 points of CLV. You can chalk that one up.
Yeah, that sounds like that's a 4-point game right there.
Yeah, I already won, right? I already won 2 points of CLV.
100%. Because CLV matters the most, dude.
Yeah, it matters so much.
CLV Warriors. All right, let's cook. So, chat, as we have been doing, we'll do 3 different lays today. We'll do a sides and total lay. We'll do kind of our favorite prop lay, and then we'll do some tutties for you guys. Coming off last week, banging our touchdown parlay last week, plus 3,500. Let's finish off the year. Finally got one through the hoop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Finally got one.
You guys wanted to do 3 legs last week.
Lame. I jumped up and down when Hunter Henry scored that touchdown.
Me too.
Awesome shit, man. All right, let's do it again this week. Sides and totals. Let's start us there. Do we want to roll with the Colts? Buy it up to the 5.5.
We got to take the staff play, right? Or no, not this week. Because you want us to avoid it.
No, we can take it. I mean, I kind of sold last week, but I mean, shit, I'm 13-3. Nobody's perfect, but I really like the Colts this week. I liked them at 5.5. At 3.5, I'm a tad scared, but maybe Sharps just agree with me. It's not like much money is really coming in on them, if we're being honest here. So
let's take the 5.5. Buy the 5.5. I like that better than the 4.5. So let's take that. All right, so Colts plus 5.5. I really like that Arizona Cincinnati over.
Yeah,
you guys down to roll with points there?
I just think it's points. Points.
Okay. Do you guys want to put the Titans in here?
I love the Titans.
Yeah.
I love the Titans. For me, it was Colts or Titans for my staff pick.
Wow. Okay, that's good to know. I'm going to buy the Titans to 2.5 though, which is where it was originally. Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to peer pressure you into betting the Titans.
No.
Okay, last sides and totals, and then we'll bring up our special guest to join us for the props. Last one. Do we want something do we want to take the Eagles in the points at this point? Or do we want to put something in the Sunday night game?
Grody. Eagles in the points? That's grody. It's grody. Suk, how do you feel about your Bucks? I know there's some reverse line movement there, but they're really paying for something. Playing for something. No?
They're playing for something, but have they actually been playing the last few weeks for real?
The money. I would only feel comfortable on the money line, and it's like minus 250. So it doesn't really move the needle.
AFC East under?
Yeah.
For under 42.
Jets, under 42.
Pats, Jets. I kind of like that too.
Yeah.
Or this. Actually, you know what? What about the Seahawks? To BTA.
Oh, I did like the Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks by 7.
Panthers. Yep, 6.5. I
Sure,
see that. Seahawks 6.5. All right, so those 4 legs of Colts plus 5.5, the over in the Cincinnati Cardinals game, 53.5, Titans plus 2.5, and then the Seahawks minus 6.5, plus 1,000. Comfy?
Perfect. Yep. That's perfect.
Okay. I'll read it one more time, chat. You can tell if you want to. Obviously, we'll do 2 more legs, so pick which ones you like the best. Cook your own as always as well. Have some fun. Colts plus 5.5. The over in the Cardinals-Bengals game, 53.5 is the line. We got Titans plus 2.5, and then the Seahawks minus 6.5. Bing bong. Okay. Sides and totals. Let's go to props, and let's bring up Chef T. Chef Ray.
What's up,
Goats?
man?
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Welcome. We've gone through all the games already, so we're in the cooking portion. What's your couple favorite props before we jump into talking about the props?
Hold on. Sorry, hold on.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about our props then. Sauce Man, I'll let you lead us off. What do you want in here? You want Evans? You want to be like Mike?
Yeah. Let's give me Mike Evans.
Okay.
Mr. Mike.
Oh, loud. Bicycle. Mike Evans. We also could maybe take his touchdown. Double dip on him.
I like that too.
We could also
16.
do you guys want to take Trey McBride here, receptions, and then
that was
Mike delay.
No, let's do we can do Mike on both. He can just score a touchdown and hit his yards.
Cool.
I was gonna say let's do McBride yards. 'Cause
Okay,
that's my favorite.
Mike.
81.5 for me. God, that's up so high. Oh well. Okay, so we got Mike Evans receiving yards. We got Trey McBride receiving yards.
Chef.
Hi, Sheffrey.
Mega.
Right.
Give us a
Sorry.
prop. Just look at it. What stands out and give it to us.
Chase Brown, R&R.
There you go.
Chase
Now
Brown,
you
R&R.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or just receiving.
Let's go R&R. I like that. Okay. It is 81.5. You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the receiving line?
21.5.
Let's do that.
Okay. Chase Brown, 21.5 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Should we
Okay.
sweat out Juwan Johnson?
I don't hate
Either
that.
that-
He's been playing so good.
Him or Olave? I'm down for either of those.
Olave went bananas last week. That's why I would only be a little worried about that. Whereas Juwan Johnson just had a good game. I trust a guy to stack 2 good games together rather than like, you know.
46.5.
Play on that too. Yeah.
All right, let's take Juwan for 46.5. Okay, so those 4 legs. Trey McBride, 81.5 receiving yards. Chase Brown, 21.5 receiving yards. Mike Evans, 60.5 receiving yards. And then Juwan Johnson, 46.5 receiving yards, plus 1,000. Bing bong. There we go. Okay. All right, boys. Tutties. Should we go Mike Evans first? Should we go back to him?
Mm-hmm.
Mike?
Like Mike.
Plus 125. Okay. Chef, what's your favorite touchdown score today?
Come back to me. I'm finishing some research. Hold on.
Okay. Triz?
Take me either Jalen Hurts. I kind of want to take us home with Burden on Sunday Night Football.
I'm down. I was gonna say if you use your king of the end zone, let's take it.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Burden.
I'm down to do Hurts as well.
Yeah, I think Hurts gets into that. I really do.
I like that. All right, so Hurts, Burden, Evans.
And then Chef's man.
Whoever Chef is thinking about. Those 3 legs is plus 1327.
Chase, maybe.
Ooh, maybe Chase. Jamar Chase too.
Or
Maybe.
McBride. I like McBride too.
I was thinking about McBride. I was just the only reason I didn't say is because we have we're doubling down on Mike, but we might as well just double down on both. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to catch passes to score touchdowns. So
Yeah.
Who do we have? So sorry.
we have right now Mike Evans, Jalen Hurts, and Luther Burden.
What about doesn't matter the price?
I mean, hittable.
Etienne.
Travis,
I don't hear that either. Yeah.
what's the line on that?
Sorry, what?
Minus 175.
Oh, no. What about T? Dude, everybody's gonna be on Chase. Jamar Chase.
It's good.
Do we zag and when everybody's zigging?
And honestly,
Everyone is gonna be on Jamar Chase.
Joey B could throw 4 tutties.
Yeah, you could have both of them. We have a lot of we're betting on points in that game, so why not? Let's go T. Good point, Chef. 26-24. Mike Evans, Jalen Hurts, T. Higgins, and then the take us home and tuck us in Luther Burden on Sunday Night Football.
Wow.
I love that. What is that? What are the odds on that?
Plus 26-24.
Love it.
Yeah. Bear down. Chef's ready. All right. There's our touchdown lay. Feel free to tail if you would like to. I'll read off all the lays if you're just tuning in that we just put together. We got a sides and totals lay, we got a props lay, and we got a touchdowns lay. You can go watch the replay of the show as well. We've been live for an hour and 40 minutes, breaking down the entire slate, getting after it. Yeah, B-Dot, get better odds. I'm in Florida, so I can only bet a couple books right now. So bet across the entire, get better odds everywhere else. All right. Sides and totals. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen, but I'll read it off. Colts plus 5.5.
Wow.
Over 53.5 points in the Cardinals-Bengals game. Titans plus 2.5. And then the Seahawks minus 6.5. Those are sides and totals lay, plus 1,000. And then props. Double dipping on Trey McBride. Oh, it actually didn't take McBride. McBride over 81.5 receiving yards in that game as well. Chase Brown, 21.5 receiving yards. Juwan Johnson, 46.5 receiving yards. Mike Evans, 60.5 receiving yards, plus 1,000. And then touchdowns, get the best line available that you can, as per usual. Mike Evans, Jalen Hurts, Trey McBride. Oh, no, that's wrong. T. Higgins, and Luther Burden. Only 4 guys. We didn't take Trey. Luther Burden to take us home and tuck us in. Plus, we'll call it plus 3,000 across the board. Bing bong,
boys. Yeah,
let's go, boys. Let's have a Sunday. Absolutely, Chef. Thanks for coming in at the death, brother. We're about to get out of here. You got anything you want to say to the kiddos before we roll?
Sorry if you hear screaming. There's new toys, and that brings noise, and also I think she doesn't know how to use some of the toys, so she just screams. So it's
the excitement of also the Bears as well, I would assume.
That too. It's gonna be a long.
Chef,
yeah.
That jacket is fire, and I hate it.
I know. And it's reversible.
Oh, I love it, but I hate it.
Even better.
Should we all put in some money? Should we all put in some money and send via a grader hat thing?
A big old. I used to have one of the graders. The actual. I don't know where it is, but
I will quit.
Yeah, I know. Letter of resignation. Sook, you want to come say bye to the kids while we sign off? All right, chat. We appreciate you guys tuning in to Gridiron Gang today. Give us a follow if you haven't already, right here on Twitch or on YouTube. If you're following us on X, thanks for watching as well. About 9,000 you guys watching us across all platforms. Appreciate you. Have a fantastic day. Have a great Sunday. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes, boys. See you guys in 2026. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy, chat. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
rolling.
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving
what you know about